moving on to the final story of the show, we have none other than Amber Ray, who gave us a few nuggets of wisdom when it comes to black tax. And I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, where she said, I am a huge supporter of kids should not be paying for their parents, and I think it is high time for Africans to break that chain. She went on to say that she posted a story, like a repost, where the caption was, families gotta start getting back together on Sunday dinners and family reunions, not just funerals. And she added a caption for herself, and she said, this is one of the reasons why I love big families, or a big family. But in this economy doesn't allow me. But one thing for sure, I'll be a rich grandma. I want my kids and my grandkids to be able to visit me without the fear of money expectations or visiting empty-handed. I am a huge supporter of that kids should not be paying bills for their parents, and I think it is high time Africans break that chain. Don't get me wrong. I am a breadwinner and I love what I do for the people that I love, but at the same time, I would never want my kids to go through the same thing. Sasa Rusheni Mawe, which is a hilarious quip at the end. I generally feel like this has sound reason to it. Sometimes you don't pick up calls, like as a person who doesn't. Sometimes I see a call from a particular relative and I know I'm not picking up that call. I see a text from someone and I know I'm not responding to that message. I see a DM on Instagram or a comment sometimes. Well, they haven't gotten to the comment section yet, but I see a DM and I definitely do not want to respond to it. Why? Because I know the immediate statement after that is, hey, by the way, so you're looking very nice. You send me something ata mimi ni glue kama wewe. Or, you know, I'm still you are so and so. You should still never. You shouldn't be that, I don't know, ignorant of the fact that I need help. Or it goes even a step further, where now you've done it multiple times, and then it's gotten to the point where they, instead of saying thank you, point blank period, they say, you know, you're the only one who I can rely on in the family because you're the only one who helps me out. What does that mean? That means, for future reference, they're trying to stroke your ego so that next time when they're asking, it feels like, yeah, I'm the only person who can actually do this for them. But in essence, what does that do to you? That puts the burden that whenever they call me, I have to help them, because otherwise they're going to be in a stiff spot or in a tough spot. And I generally feel like there's a difference between just like sending out money or I don't know, gifts or whatever form of thing that you want to send back home. I think it's very, very important to do that. But send it when you are able to, when you want to, as opposed to I have to, as opposed to an obligation. And if you are very well financially, there's nothing wrong with sending money back home or helping out a few relatives here and there. But when it starts to become a threat, like, you better send this to me. I'll never forget a niece who I hadn't seen for a long time, a very long time. I'd gone to see my grandmother and she was at their house. So I'd gone to visit my grandma. Obviously, they're going to be at her house, and of course she's going to be there, so I have to see them as well. Usually I just avoid in general just interacting with relatives because of my own personal reasons, which I'll not get into right now. But yeah, when I got there, I think she pulled me aside and she started telling me this sob story about some other, I don't know, one thing or another. And at that moment I'm just like, okay, then I gave her a clear solution, right? But when I gave her a clear solution, she didn't seem like she wanted to apply the clear solution. It seemed like she wanted me to go ahead and do the solution to go ahead and apply this solution to her life. You know what I mean? Like really get involved and try and, you know, rectify this, whatever issue it was. But to me, it was just like, but if you do A, B, C, and D, you'll be able to get the results that you want. Why do I have to be involved? You know what I mean? And then it went so far as, mind you, I haven't seen this girl in so long. She went so ahead as to threaten me by saying that, but hey, I saw you got engaged. They had lied about knowing that I have a boyfriend to begin with earlier on in that conversation. It was so weird. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, so are you seeing someone, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing someone, and I just like ended the conversation there. Later on is when I realized these people knew the whole time. Like, these people knew, because she said, but if you do not invite me to your wedding, I saw you got engaged. If you don't invite me to your wedding, I'm going to be so mad, I will come and kick you. And in my mind, I'm just like, girl, I don't know you like that. But I just laughed it off. And immediately, 1 + 1 + 3 became, there's a reason why you cut these people off. You just need to be cutting that off completely. Because it's just like there's an energy of, I deserve this because, I don't know, somehow we're related, or I am supposed to. There's an entitlement, that's the word I'm looking for. There's a sense of entitlement that comes with people that I generally just don't like, simply because when I was in the dumps, when I was uko chini, nobody came through. And now suddenly I've worked a little bit, I have like 2 shillings. You want now my 2 shillings to be distributed equally across? I generally believe black tax, if I want to send money home, if I want to help someone, I will help them. But it is not an obligation. No one is entitled. I really just do what I can in the way that I can. Let's not make it like a monthly thing where I have to send a specific amount. I find it very plaguing, and it is what is destroying. You're 30 years old. You just got your first job, right? You're now earning like 2 shillings. If you 2 shillings, unatuma quarter, unabaki na 50 cents, will you ever be able to come out of that situation? No. So at some point, people need to let young people actually get to the point where they make money and they are financially stable for them to start asking, if at all. If at all. That's just my opinion. I agree with Ambare.
I actually understand wanting to help your parents out. I totally understand. Sometimes it's even a motivation for you to work harder. You're like, you know what? I will work so hard. I'll build my mama a house. I'll buy my dad a car. And that's just one of the motives. Because, you know, you've seen the sacrifices they've made
for you,
raising you. But let me just assure you that those feelings of motivation come so naturally. They're natural because you're trying to reciprocate the kind of love and attention you got. But the minute it becomes an expectation,
an obligation.
The minute it becomes you're obligated to help out, you're obligated to be sending grocery money every end of the month because you're now working in the big city. It is so draining. I used to have a roommate who would get so depressed anytime she's paid because her mother is expecting like in the thousands.
Because of the trick of how much are you actually earning? Please never fall for it.
We are roommates.
Don't tell someone how much you earn.
Hey. We are roommates. We're living as roommates because we can barely afford to rent a house on our own. You know, so here we are roommates. Here I am with my bills. Here she is with her bills. There's water, there's tokens, there's transport to go to school, there's probably lunch, there's groceries for you yourself to survive and eat. But now, there's in the village,